This video will cover Chapter 2, Section 8, Part 2, and this is composition of functions. So in the last video we looked at operations on functions. This time composition of functions, where we're going to take two functions and compose a new function out of them. Alright, by placing one of the functions inside of the other. Now this is really nothing any different than when we say f of 2. That means to take the value 2 and place it in the function in place of x. Alright, we're going to be doing the exact same thing, except this time, instead of putting a number in x's place, we're going to put another function. Okay, so we've been doing this, we've just been placing numbers, not functions. Alright, and the way that you're going to know is composition of functions is you're going to see f, and this little circle means composite. G, it looks like fog. Alright, it's not multiplication. Alright, it means composition, and what it means to do is take the function g, and you're going to plug it in to the function f. Everywhere there is an x. So you're always with functions working from the inside out. So you would take g of x and plug it in to the function f. Alright, we read this as f of g of x. Alright, you may also see it written g composite f. That means to take the function f and plug it in to the function g. So whichever function is listed first is the one you're going to be plugging into. Whatever is listed second is the function that's going to be plugged in. So you can use either one of these two notations. They mean the same thing. Alright, so we're going to look at these two functions here, f of x, the square root of x plus 4, and g of x, which is 2 over x. And I'm going to show you two ways that you may see it written. Okay, so if you look at number 1, alright, it says find f of g of x. So your problem may ask you to find just this portion of the problem, find f of g of x. Alright, I'm going to show you how to do that first. Alright, so for now we'll come back to this part. Alright, so if I want to find f composite g of x, that means to take and find f of g of x. Alright, now I'm going to put this in a different color so maybe it'll stand out a little bit. Alright, so we're going to take the function g and we're going to plug it into the function f in place of x. Alright, so what I would do is I would take the function f, which is the square root of x plus 4, and let's just write it out. Square root of x plus 4. Alright, that is function f. What we're going to do is we're going to take g and plug it into f everywhere there's an x. So here's our x. So I'm going to get rid of that x, and in its place I'm going to put the function g, which is 2 over x. Then if there's any way that I can simplify it, I would simplify it. This one is as simple as it can go. Okay? Alright, let's try number 2. Find g of f of x. Alright? Or g composite f of x. So we're going to take and we're going to plug in f of x into g. So what I would do is take the function g and write it down, which is 2 over x. Alright, now what I want to do is replace this x with f of x. So I'm going to take that x off, and I'm going to write f of x in its place, which is the square root of x plus 4. If I can simplify it, I go ahead and simplify it. Otherwise, that's it. Okay, so if they're not giving you a number to plug in, you can't give me a number out. So you would just plug in the function into the other. Okay, it works the exact same as if it were a number, just instead of plugging in a number, you're plugging in another function. Okay, alright, now let's go back to the second part. Alright, so if they ask me to find f of g of a number, or f composite g of a number, alright, So let's say they did not, all they said was find this. Find f composite g of 2. Alright? Here is the faster way to solve it. Okay? It means to take f of g of 2. Alright? So we're going to find this value right here. I'm plugging in a number. Alright, and so you're going to work from the inside out. We're going to take 2, plug it into g. When we get that value, we're going to plug it into f. Okay, so the first thing we're going to find is what is g of 2. Alright, so we've been doing that back in section 2.3. So g of 2, I'm going to take the function g, and in place of x, which is down here in the denominator, I'm going to put 2. That simplifies to 1. Alright, now that I know what value g of 2 is, I'm going to come in here, plug it in place of x. Alright, then now this says find the value of f when x is 1. So I'm going to take and plug into f, which is the square root of x plus 4. In place of x, I'm going to put a 1 plus 4 to get the square root of 5. Okay, so let's review that. So if they give me just this, they've not given me any number to plug in, I simply am going to find a new function as my answer. If they give me just this part, alright, then I'm going to be plugging in a number, and I should get out a number. So I'm going to find the value of g when x is 2. Whatever that value is, I'm going to plug it in to f. Alright, then on this one, if I want to find g composite f of 5, so this is the only information they've given me, let's pretend that they've asked me to find this. Then I'm going to take, I'm going to write it like this. Alright, I'm always going to work from the inside out. So this tells me what I'm plugging into x, and this is where I'm going to plug it in. Once I get that value, I plug it in to g. So first we find f of 5. Alright, so I'm going to take and plug in 5 in place of x inside of f, and here it is right here. So we're going to say 5 plus 4 is 9. And the square root of 9 is 3. Alright, so then I'm going to find the value of g when x is 3. So I found the value of f of 5 to be 3. That's what I'm now going to plug into g. So I'm going to take the function g, and in place of x, I'm going to put a 3. I can't simplify this any further, so that would be my answer. Okay, so first we looked at if they only give me this, this would be my answer. If they only give me this, this would be my answer. Alright, now, okay, if they give you the question written out like this, find this, then this, alright, here's what you can do. Once you find the new function f of g of x, what you can do to find f of g of 2 would be to take and use your new function, and in place of x, you're going to put a 2. So this 2 we would put right there. And then we'd simplify. We'd have 1 plus 4, which is the square root of 5. Notice it's the exact same thing you got over here. Alright, so you got to look at what the question is asking. If it's just find f of g of x, alright, then this is all you're going to do. If it is find f of g of 2, this is all you need to do, which is much easier than going through this whole part. Now, if they ask you to find all of this, to find f of g of x first, then find f of g of 2, alright, then you could do this part, and that's much faster than having to go through this. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Alright, so we looked at, on this question, find f of g of x, and that was this part right here. Alright, then we looked at if they only ask us to find g of f of 5, that was this part. All right, now if they ask you to find all of it, g of f of x and then g of f of 5, all right, you can take, when you find g of f of x, you can take this new function, all right, and find g of f of 5, all right, by plugging this 5 in to your new function. I'm going to put a 5 in x's place, which will give me 2 over the square root of 9, which simplifies to 2/3. Alright, this problem asks us to find f composite g of x. We won't worry about this portion. Okay, we're just going to find f composite g of x. So that means to find f of g of x. So we're going to take this function and plug it into this one. So function f is the square root of x minus 1. This is f. What I'm going to do is take g and I'm going to put it in x's place. So I'm going to get rid of the x and I'm going to put in the function g, which is 2x plus 5. Then I would simplify it. 5 minus 1 is 4. They haven't asked for any number. Alright, they haven't given me a number and asked me to find the value, just to find the composition of these two functions. This would be my answer. Alright, let's try that same thing. Alright, this time g composite f of x. We won't worry about the domain. So what we're looking for is g of f of x. So we're going to take the function f and we're going to plug it into g everywhere there is an x. Alright, so function g is 2x plus 5. Alright, this is g, 2x plus 5. In x's place, I'm going to put the function f, which is x minus 1. Alright, I can't distribute this 2 under that radical sign because of the way radicals work, so this would be my final answer.